Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs Audio review in the newly revamped Tech Lounge, aka my basement. Chargers got thumped this weekend by the Texans, and it's alright, but the hat is out because I've been a fan for 45 plus years. And it is also in solidarity with the people of Los Angeles, Southern California, who have all been affected by the wildfires. Obviously, thoughts and prayers. I mean, a hell of a lot to people who've lost everything or lost a loved one, but my thoughts are with y'all. So I just wanted to say that. Speedy recovery. Oh, man, this world, it's a little nuts. Anyway, to it. The Fiio ft1 Pro gets the spotlight today. This box is pretty gigantic, so I'm going to get it out of the way as quickly as possible. But I will do a quick unbox for you and let you know that I do believe I've got the cables both out and the 3.5 to 6.35 adapter is also out as well. So not pictured here, but included. Yeah, everything's out. Yeah, comes in this box. Comes with a really nice portable case. Obviously not pocketable, but definitely baggable. Where is that case? That's not it. Oh yeah, there it is. There we go. Very similar to, not the same as, the case for the FT1. So nice. Plenty of space in there for a cable or two. Should you like to carry everything that you need with you. So yeah, pretty simple, but that's okay because it has it where it counts. It comes with two cables. They are the same cables that come with the FT1. So don't no surprise there. Being that this is the sibling to that set. Here. So both the cables look like this. This happens to be the 4.4 balanced, but they also have a 3.5, and they have said adapter. Oh yeah, which is right there. There we go. So I actually have a Hart audio cable on, which I will link in the description. This was originally purchased. It was a Zeos recommendation, the company Hart Audio. And I originally purchased this for my very first set of audiophile level headphones. That was the SoCal Elysias. But I think I'm going to keep it with the FT1 Pros because I just really like the feel of it versus the stock cable, which is a little bit. I mean, it's nice. There's no question. It's good quality, but it's a little stiff. So I'd rather have the sort of lighter, looser, more comfortable feeling Hart cable on it. But that's up to you. No cable swap is necessary because it has two, but should you want to, you can. Let me drop the headlamp here. There we go. And then we can take a look at the specs. Okay, here we go. So they are open back planar. This is their proprietary technology, which is a 1 micrometer thin sapphire and aluminum dual coating driver, flat panel, obviously. The sensitivity is 95 decibels and the resistance is 20 ohms. So let's see here. I have this really weird looking glove on because I want to hopefully show you guys the driver a little bit. If you can hopefully see that. There is blue coming through, at least for me. I don't know if it will be for you. But that shows the sapphire aluminum coating on those flat panel drivers, which I think is really pretty cool. They are open back and they are planar, which is pretty great. Actually, let's keep these guys out so we can go over some build quality here. Similar, I think, in build quality to the FT1 Pro, or the FT1 regular, minus the wooden ear cups, because these are open back. They've got a really pretty sweet design on the ear cup. and being able to see through a little bit to the driver is also nice. You guys know there are advantages and disadvantages to open back. One of the advantages being very wide immersive soundstage. Disadvantage being, of course, lots of leakage sound-wise. So, not something you're going to take on the plane or on the train necessarily. Maybe the train. Trains may be noisy enough that people won't care. Really nice, like, micro adjustments, 6 different positions. And really, it's almost not infinite, but, there's a lot more than 6. You can go in between the little stops if you want to. So micro adjustments are definitely a thing for this set. And a nice, very sturdy slide that it's going to stay in place even if you don't have it on a notch. It's going to stay in place for you. So clamp force is comfy, moderate. Doesn't feel like they're going to fall off, but it also doesn't feel like they're squeezing your head. And the ear pads are super, super comfy. So I think they're the combination of the fenestrated protein leather on the inner ring, protein leather on the outer ring, and then this nice soft sort of nylon material there. You can wear them for hours. Honestly, they're so comfortable. That's what Fiio did right. One of the many things they did right with the ft1 series headphones is they made them just goddamn comfortable. And they should be. I think you can see they've got some rotation here as well. Should fit most head sizes. Maybe if you're like Andre the Giant, rest in peace, Andre. If you've got a giant head, you might feel them a little bit tight on the clamp force, but I don't know. They're just so comfortable. I don't know. No complaints. Lots of metal, a little bit of plastic. That's okay. This actually, I think that's aluminum. Yeah, some lightweight aluminum there. Yeah, there's some plastic here, but nothing like, they don't feel cheap. They've got a nice weight to them without being super heavy. They feel premium, They feel like they're could be a lot more expensive than the $200 asking price, which is, that's what we look for when we're looking for value. Do they overperform for their price point? Well, let's get into it. Let's get into the graph and sonic impressions for you. I'm going to hang these guys up on Michael. I named the knight Michael. If you guys get that reference, I hope you do because it cracked me up. Yeah, Michael's not allowed in my son's room because he reminds my wife too much of the Mountain from Game of Thrones. And if you know Game of Thrones, well, if you don't, you've been living under a rock, but at least you know that the Mountain's a pretty scary figure in that series. So yeah, he got relegated back to the basement, probably for the best, honestly. But yeah, Michael's here. So Michael Knight holding the headphones. All right, so let's bring up the graph, and this graph is courtesy of Gadgetry Tech, and I have to give them a shout out, and I will link their YouTube in the description because I don't have a rig for doing over-ear headphones. I don't have one. It doesn't mean I won't ever get one, but they're freaking expensive from what I can tell. So that's going to be a little bit down the line. For now, we're going to rely on others, and whoever's graph I do use will obviously get a shout out and a link in the description, because I think that's important to give credit where credit is due, and a little shout out never hurts anybody. So Gadgetry Tech, if we start with the sub bass, there is a roll off, and that definitely presents itself, so it's not going to pick up like super sub bass drops, and the mids are just, I would say the mid bass is actually fairly impactful, despite the graph being fairly flat. It is not lacking, but it's not a bass head level set for sure. This is a reference tuning, as you can see. It's got this, quite a peak here. Ear gain is fairly aggressive, but then does come back down a little bit, so it doesn't really get sibilant in any way. And I feel like the treble is very nicely extended, not fatiguing, but very highly detailed, and definitely gives you that big sound stage along with really good micro detail retrieval, and just technical performance in general, I think, is very good on this set, especially considering the price point. Really good. Um, it's still an engaging listen. For being a reference tune set, I find myself like just listening to music instead of analyzing the headphones, which is always a good thing, right? If you can just kind of like chill. I follow Tool Band on Reddit, and they do this like, a song like every day or so. What's your opinion of this Tool song? And I got led into listening to Intention and Right Into back to back. And on this set, it was just freaking gorgeous. So, this will handle genres all the way up to the most extreme metal. So that's kind of off the table. Drone Corpse Aviator is kind of off the table. Slaughter to Prevail, it's okay. Some of the slower Meshuggah tunes are fine, like Ligature Marks and Break Those Bones sounded really, really good. But when you get into the speediness and tons of cymbal strikes, it is a bit too much from, upper mids on for that kind of stuff. And then conversely, also not a set for rap or hip hop or EDM necessarily either, because you're going to miss those drops. You're going to miss the sub bass, you're going to miss the rumble, and a real like impactful, and the mid bass is just, it's not there. The mid bass is there, but it's not going to satisfy you. So this is not for bass heads. Nope, not going to happen. I did even throw on the, and we'll get into sources here now, and we'll do comps as well, a couple of comps. Not the comps that y'all wanted, unfortunately, because I don't have them, but still going to do a couple of comps. Bass boost, analog bass boost on the iFi Zendak V2 was really good on them, actually, and did fill in quite a bit of the, I would say, part that is lacking for hip hop and for like EDM. Still too much in the treble for extreme metal. It's just not, it's not balanced enough in that respect to make that enjoyable. But I'd say like anything up to Mastodon, Tool, Rage Against the Machine worked really well. Couple of Meshuggah songs, it does well up to a point. That's about where it's at. But what it does do well, it does really well. It's a really nicely tuned, balanced, referencey style of headphone for a very reasonable price. I hit the conclusion a little bit too early, but let's talk about sources for a minute. The iFi Zendak V2 with the Burr Brown DAC chipset and the TA22 with the tubes. These are the JJ Electronics Gold Pin high performance tubes, which I've gone back to because unfortunately the PS Vane Art Series and the Tongue Saw are too freaking noisy on the TA22, especially as far as IEMs go. But the JJE Gold Pin are really, really nice. They give a nice, full, rich, clean, warm sound. And the ft1 Pro absolutely ate that shit up. It was beautiful. That being said, as far as gear matching goes, both the K11 and K11R2R were also good. A little bit more referencey, not as warm, so it took a little bit of the bass even more away, I think, than having these guys sort of add that warmth back in with the iFi and the X Duo. But definitely showcases these guys, the Fios, definitely showcase the technical aspects of the ft1 Pro. So I'd call it an excellent match. Really, like if you're going to gear match, you could do a lot worse than the K11 OG or the K11R2R. Just understand that it doesn't have a ton of bass. The bass that's there is very high quality, speedy, fast, articulate, accurate. All of those really good things you expect from planars, just not a lot of weight to it. As far as vocals go, I think that's one of the strongest points of this set. Female vocals in particular. Male vocals may lack a little bit of weight. but they still sound good. They still sound accurate. They're just not super powerful. But female vocals from Adele to Billie Eilish to Taylor Swift to Courtney LaPlante to Melody Gardot and Anna Netrebko didn't seem to matter if they were like an alto or a contralto or a soprano or a mezzo-soprano. Just like the female vocals on this set are excellent. And then higher range male vocals like Maynard and Brandaler from Mastodon also came through with flying colors. Just a little bit, a little gruffer, lower register male voices didn't quite have the heft, I think. Certainly not that the ft1 closed back dynamic presented them with. But they're different animals, like if it were me, if I were Fiio, I'd be looking to package these two headphones together for a discount, like say 200 and 150, so that's 350. I'd like package them for like 299 or 319, and just because they offer such a different presentation. And then I'd even throw in like one of either the R2R or the OG K11, like for another $120. So maybe call it like what, $450 for all three, something like that. I mean, it's a hell of a deal. You can spend $450 on a headphone and not get as good a quality as these guys are giving you, plus a freaking desktop DAC amp. You're welcome, Fiio. You're welcome. They probably won't use that, but if they do, well, that's cool. That's totally cool by me. So yeah, as far as the comps go, it's obvious that, let me bring up the graph for the ft1. Thank you again to Gadgetry Tech for having both of these guys available. So let's see. There we go. You can see the bass is quite a bit different. The bass on the ft1 is just insanely good. Sub bass to mid bass, they even had this little bump here, between 80 to 120, that gives the mid bass that real heft and punch to it. Sub bass rumbles, so there's your main difference, right? And then the ear gain on the ft1 is much milder, and the treble is slightly smoother until you get into the upper treble, and then they're somewhat similar. The ft1's a smoother ride. It's just a warmer, bassier, smoother ride than the ft1 Pro, and I think that's why, from what I've heard in a little bit, because I try not to do this, I try not to go look at other reviews or whatever, but kind of hard to avoid titles, right? From what I can tell is that people prefer the ft1 over the Pro, but to be fair, that has got to be a bass bias, right? Because as far as technical performance goes, the ability of the headphones, the ft1 Pro I think is a little bit more technically capable than the ft1. May not be as engaging of a listen, although I still find it to be engaging, but technically more proficient than the ft1. Okay, so that's your style preference, right? If you like less bass and more text, then go for the ft1 Pro. If you like more bass and aren't worried so much about the soundstage and so much about micro details, then you just get the ft1. And that's your standard difference, I think, between closed back dynamic and open back planar. It's pretty much right there in front of us. That's the difference. So it's not a qualitative difference, it's a style difference. It's a style preference. That's what I would say. So I would rate these guys pretty equally. Both get a huge highly recommended from me because they way outperform their price point. Like way. So, like way, dude. Straight up comp, this is the best thing I have, honestly. The Moondrop Venus to the ft1 Pro. $600 headphone. Pretty cool, or pretty weak, wonky or geeky, winky in style. I was not able to do my mall walk with these this year, but I'll do it next Black Friday for y'all. Should be in good shape to do it by then. What can I say? Does the Venus have slight advantage in the text. Yep, it does. Slight advantage in overall clarity. Slight advantage in being a really referencey, like straight up reference kind of style. But the FT1 Pro has a grander soundstage and is 1/3 of the price. So even though I probably have a little bit more respect for the Venus, and I'm still coping with that purchase, even though it was $530, not $600. Whew. Yeah, that's what happens when you're kind of just going blind at the beginning. I don't regret the purchase because I think this is a hand-me-down set. My son will eventually have these, and they're built like a freaking tank, so they're going to last for a very long time. But I'm taking the FT1 Pro every day for the price over the Venus every day. Yeah, that's my comp, guys. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of open backs, and I don't have a lot of planars and full-sized headphones. I can tell you that both the FT1 and the FT1 Pro, as far as overall sound quality and enjoyment go, absolutely crush the SoCal Elysias. I would put them on an enjoyment level easily with the Meze 99 Classics. I still love these. They're still one of my favorites. But you're looking at 309 versus 200 or 150. If I can buy both of those sets, there we go. If I can buy both of those for around the same price, I can buy those. Well, it's kind of an easy decision for those of us who are somewhat budget conscious in our purchases. So yeah, they both, the FT1 Pro and the FT1, both compare really favorably to much more expensive sets. So that's why they get a highly recommended too. It's everything. It's tuning, it's driver quality, it's build quality, it's enjoyment, it's accessories, it's everything. Everything that you get for the price is pretty freaking insane. Honestly, it really is. So that is going to do it for the FT1 Pro review. Highly recommended. Amazing value. Really, really enjoyable listen. Beware that ear gain if you're sensitive in that area. These might be a little bit intense for you, but I think for most people they're going to do just fine. Everybody but bass heads, and again, they're not gonna fill out in the low end, in the sub bass, enough for people who listen to EDM or hip hop, and they are a little too intense in the high end for people who like extreme metal. But everything else, they're freaking great for, like amazingly good. So please, if you could, take a moment and go to the community and cast your vote for the next review. I'll admit, I've got the Tino. I've had it in. I've taken it to the grocery store already. That doesn't mean it has to go next, but you've got your 4 choices there: the 2 BV GP sets, and the Tino, and the EPZ P50. So I could use your help. Let's see what we're going to do next. But for now, love y'all. Nothing but peace to you, and we'll see ya.